What's up, guys? I'm going to talk a little bit about the sun today and how it relates to your tattoos, your collections. I have some notes written down on my computer, so I'll be looking to my left. Anyway, let's get started. So the first thing to keep in mind is that the correlation between the sun and your tattoos is definitely real. It's not a hoax. It's not just something that tattoo or sunscreen companies are telling you in order to sell you product. You know, it's a very real thing, the effect that the sun has on your work. Think of it like our kryptonite as tattoo collectors. Number two, it's sneaky. It's in effect even when you may not realize it, like when you're driving a car, driving a vehicle. It still seeps through your windows even though you're technically not outdoors. You can feel the heat on your skin, so you know it's doing something. Number three, I believe in something called the slight edge theory, which is the concept that small behaviors, even if they're just 3 or 5 minutes a day, like applying sunscreen, they add up over time and they're working for you or against you. Even if the effects might be invisible today, tomorrow, next week, next month, the results will eventually show themselves over time. So it's just important to be diligent with things because, it all adds up over time. Number four, I don't really think there's any statistics on this matter as far as the sun and the extent to which it fades your tattoos. But I have witnessed with my own eyes, as I'm sure many of you guys have, what just a few months of blatant sun exposure can do on a nice piece, and it isn't pretty. UV exposure can cause your tattoos to lose detail. They can cause your tattoos to fade. If you have color work, they can cause them to fade into colors that you don't even really recognize anymore. It's crazy, you know. Number five, I personally always use SPF 50. Sources say that it kind of plateaus after that number and that SPF 100 is just a marketing thing typically. I personally believe that rub-on is a lot more effective. You're able to get full coverage and ensure that you get all the crevices and whatnot. Sometimes you can waste product when you're using spray-on, so I think you just kind of get more bang for your buck with rub-on as well. Number six, remember that new tattoos should always be covered until they're fully healed. Use clothing, stay indoors, whatever you got to do to keep your tattoos out of the sun, because if you get a brand new nice piece and you just go bake in the sun and ruin your work and go back to the artist and try to get it touched up, they're probably going to be like, that was your fault. You need to pay for the touch-up because, you're instructed to keep it out of the sun until it's healed, or else it can ruin it. So keep that in mind. Number seven, as far as frequency, I personally apply sunscreen like every hour. They say it lasts 80 minutes typically, but I just don't like to leave anything regarding my collection up to chance. I've invested so much time, money, and energy into my collection, and it means so much to me that I just like to be diligent with it. I am a little bit OCD, or a lot OCD, but it's just worth it to me to keep my work looking fresh. Number nine, there are shirts and clothing on the market that specialize in UV protection. If you get annoyed with sunscreen or just don't have the energy certain days, Google UV clothing protection and some stuff should come up. I just ordered a few shirts the other day. Those are nice when you're out in the sun and you don't really feel like putting your sunscreen on every hour or two. Anyway, number 9. If you do happen to get a sunburn, apply aloe vera and just don't let it happen again. If it's fresh work, it also might be necessary to visit the doctor and potentially get antibiotics depending on the magnitude of the burn. And number 10, remember that although it's important to keep your tattoos looking fresh, it's also important to live your damn life. Tattoos are a huge part of my life, but they're not the only part of it. I'm going to protect my skin as well as I can, but At the end of the day, I like to do stuff outside. I like to go running. I like to go to the beach. Just make sure you keep your sunscreen on. You should be good. You know, being heavily tattooed and keeping your collection looking immaculate definitely comes at a cost, but I wouldn't trade it for anything. Thanks for listening, guys. Hope this helped a little bit. Bye.